Om Shanti. How are you all? So now biblical prophecy is becoming very true. In that God said, I will make poor into a rich person, rich into a poor person. So now during COVID-19 period, many of the billionaires and millionaires, they are becoming poor, which means they may have money, but still they can't get a bed in hospital. They can't get oxygen for themselves. So how do we call about it? They are poor, right? They can't even get a bed, which means they are poor. Not only that, many businesses are crashing down. Many millionaires have made a huge loss in this 2-year period. The damage caused by corona is unimaginable by humans. People went far away from God, bragging about science, and now science can't help them. So after hospitals desert them, they naturally turn to God. They go to temples. Where else can they go? As long as everything is normal, people don't even think of God. They're too busy with their day-to-day activities. But when something terrible happens to them personally, they will quickly come and grab God, as Markandeyan grabs Shivling during his period of death. God says, during the end times, people may be a millionaire, but still they couldn't get even a cup of water, even if they are ready to afford millions for it. Such would be the case. So that is something unimaginable for us right now, right? Even in Bible it is mentioned, during the end times, actually in that it was mentioned as if it was happening in hell, but we are already living in hell, which is not described in Bible. Yes, this world was created as heaven by God in the beginning, that is 5,000 years back. So it was heaven for the first 2,500 years. After that it slowly turns into hell, and now we are living in the last 100 years where God himself comes and gives this knowledge as Murli. It is available totally free of cost in all Raj Yoga meditation centers, and also you can listen to Murli from many websites and YouTubes. It is spelled M-U-R-L-I, Murli. So that's the direct teaching of God, the essence of which God says, the world which was once heaven has become hell, mainly because of the fact that we have become body conscious now, as opposed to the soul consciousness we once were. Yes, we used to consider ourselves to be the soul, a point of light that shines like a tiny star in between the eyebrows, and we would address each other as souls. They don't fall for the external beauty because they know it is just a dress. So it is the soul that sees through the eyes, and it is the soul that speaks through the mouth. It is the soul that thinks for itself. So it is the soul that performs every action through the physical organs. They had this knowledge naturally. But after the completion of first 2,500 years, we started forgetting that we are souls. Instead, we considered ourselves to be this body, and thereby become slaves for the sensual pleasures, because of which we have become slaves for these five vices: lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego. So, due to these vices, we start committing more and more sins. So, obviously, we'll be facing punishment for that, and the punishment comes in the form of poverty, diseases, natural calamities, and now it's in the form of corona. So God says it is because of the sins you have committed that you are facing these punishments. And there is a way out. What is it? It's very simple. Just think of God as a point of light, because He is also a soul like us. He dwells in a golden red colored light world called Parlog or Parandam. So that is where God resides, and even we souls resided there in the beginning. And when this world gets destroyed in the end of Kali, again we souls leave this body and enter there. So before that, we have to clean our souls. So how do we do that? By remembering ever pure supreme soul called God. He is called Shiv by Hindus, Allah by Muslims, Heavenly Godfather by Christians. God is one. We have to constantly remember Him, so that the sins we have been accumulating for past after birth, for birth after birth, for the past 2500 years will totally be washed off. In Bible it is mentioned that in hell the punishment will be such that even if your father or mother or wife or son or daughter are standing nearby you, they can't help you. Such is the case with coronavirus, right? So their loved ones are standing beside them, but they couldn't help them but see them dying due to lack of oxygen and lack of bed facilities in hospital. So this is hell. People don't realize that. They commit sin after sin. They don't even know what sin is. They eat, they kill animals and consume them, and they say their religion accept that. But all religions were created in hell by humans. You can call them as created by Satan, because there are only two ways: God's way and Satan's way. Anything created by human, they all belong to Satan's way. And God comes only in the end and gives His only way, which is the greatest way, which is the only way to enter heaven. All other ways given by Satan, they will make you suffer more and more in hell. And another thing is lust. Lust or sex, whether it happens within marriage or outside marriage, both are considered sin. But people, they mistake those religious scriptures, thinking that lust is sin only if it is committed outside marriage. No, it's not so. If you have physical relationship within marriage, you will obviously be addicted to it to the extent that you will look for it outside the marriage eventually. That's how people, after taking several rebirths, have now become habituated to homosex, rape, child abuse. All of this are nothing but the result of having sex within the marriage, because our souls get addicted to these sensual pleasures. So they take this habit within themselves birth after birth. So due to these sins, our souls have lost all its power and it has become very weak, so it has become more and more slaves to these five vices. Now to make it more powerful, we need to remember God as much as possible. The more we remember God, the more powerful our souls become, which means it will slowly come out of these five vices. Thereby it becomes eligible to enter heaven. But that's not enough, because there are 33 million deities in heaven. We shouldn't just be one among them. We should be the number one among them. So the number one status in heaven is Sri Narayan, King of Kings. So we need to become that. God is teaching this Raj Yoga to make us into King of Kings, not into one of subjects. So as God prophesied, now scientists are forecasting that there would be severe drought in the near future. There would be scarcity of food supply for across the globe. That's going to be the condition in the near future. But we need to put up with all these problems only for a little period of time. So God comes here to say that, because we souls are imperishable, and this world is going to become Satyug. Kali Yuga is going to become Satyug. So hell is going to turn into heaven, where there will be no signs of any sort of pain or suffering. Even child will be born happy, and the mother delivering the child would also be happy. So because that's heaven, and it will be filled with peace, prosperity, health, wealth, everything you think of, it will be there. Everything will be there in abundance. But now this world is losing everything. We don't have enough space, we don't even have enough oxygen. So it's so much polluted. Maybe that's another reason that we are becoming less and less immune to these diseases. Anyway, it has to happen, because this old world has to become destroyed to renew into the new world. So this happens every 5,000 years once. So God comes every 5,000 years once to give this teaching and make hell into heaven. The significance of this 5,000 year time cycle called Kalpa is, whatever happens in one Kalpa, it keeps repeating Kalpa after Kalpa, which means you are watching this same video 5,000 years back, and now you are watching it, and you will watch the same video after 5,000 years on the very same day. Whether it's due to coronavirus or due to some other reason, we have to face death for sure. So how do we face death is what that really matters. Whether out of pain due to attachment to the worldly things, or we die in pleasure, thinking that we are going to take a new body in heaven. That makes the real difference. So we need to live happily, we need to die happily. So there is only one way to do that. That's the God's way. That's taking God's knowledge, Murli. So you can see it online, as I already mentioned. I will also give the link in the description for that. And consider yourselves to be the soul that is totally separate from this body. The soul operates this body as the driver operates a car. As driver is not a part of car, the soul is also not a part of this body. You need to recognize that. So you need to realize that, and you need to be more and more soul conscious and remember God as much as possible as a point of light. This is the only thing you need to do. Remember God as a point of light and remember important points given by God in the daily Murli. That is all we need to do. So as much as you remember God and as much as you churn the Murli points, you will become more and more happy no matter what happens around you. You may lose your property, you may lose your well-being, you may lose your loved ones. You will still remain happy because happy is within. We souls are embodiment of peace and bliss. But now, because we have become body conscious, we are depending on the external factors for our peace and happiness. But that was not the case while we were in heaven. The soul itself is the generator of peace and bliss. That's the true nature of soul. Just by becoming body conscious, we no longer generate happiness and peace ourselves. So now God teaches us to do it on our own so that even without anything, we will be happy forever and we will leave this body very happily. Om Shanti. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please hit on like button and please do share this video with everybody irrespective of their religion and race and gender, because everybody needs this right now. If not now, then it's going to be never. And also leave your valuable comments and do subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Thanks for watching.